This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hey, all of it, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, Episode number 3680. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. That's you, the Men's Room. On tap today, it is the random question. Yes. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: expensive cities and the top-selling NFL jerseys. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clack. All right, here we go. A woman loses her Apple Watch on a ride at Disney, and whoever found it ran up $40,000 on her Amex card. Meanwhile, to Atlanta, where you might be shot while driving downtown, near the Varsity, on the Boulevard. To Japan, where a 71-year-old is arrested after breaking into a bar. South Carolina high schoolers are banned from graduation after taking the senior day prank too far. And a Japanese teen calls cops after seeing a man using old technology. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, earlier this month, McDonald's announced that it was closing all of its 850 locations in Russia. So, if you're Russian and you want a Big Mac, well, you're out of luck. Subsequently, if you live anywhere on Earth and you want ice cream from an operable ice cream machine, you're also out of luck. But now joining McDonald's is Starbucks, as they've announced it's closing its 130 locations throughout Russia. So I know what you're wondering. Where will Russians get their Trinity iced coffee with 3 pumps of sugar-free vanilla, caramel drizzle, and a splash of soy? I don't know. The humanity. Meanwhile, here in the States, the exact opposite type of thing is happening. Taco Bell was kind enough to bring back their Mexican pizza, and now Arby's, who has the meats, will now have more meats. You see, Arby's announced that for the first time in their 60-year history, they are adding a hamburger to their menu. It's a limited-time offer, but between now and July 31st, you can try Arby's new Wagyu Steakhouse Burger. And apparently the reports coming in say it is awesome. It's really, really good. I've not had one myself. That's just what the people are saying. But now maybe in protest of his kind being served up and turned into burgers, a bull escaped from a California rodeo and hit 6 people. What you need to understand is after the bull bucked its rider, it jumped over a fence and left the rodeo. It was not doing this at the rodeo. It jumped the hell out and started running down the street. They had to lasso this thing a half mile away at a bridge. Good times. Good times. Now, these are just some of the stories we've seen. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question. And this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question. And after you share your answer, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show, the random question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro. Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case. Dude, no way. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact me today at advocateslaw.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Machella's, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3680. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Your guess is as good as mine. The categories today: expensive cities and the top selling NFL jerseys. So basically, they looked at a bunch of different countries, United States being one of those. And found some of the cities where, believe it or not, it's affordable to live there. And then with that, they give us the most expensive U.S. housing markets here at home in the United States.
All right.
Okay. So to give you an idea, if you want to live cheap, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Which to be fair,
Pennsylvania.
I make fun of Pittsburgh. It's home of the Steelers. You can kiss my ass. But the city itself, fine city.
In most of these, you'll find one common denominator in my mind, and that is something that I hate more than anything in the world. Snow. Rochester, New York. Also a very affordable city.
It should be.
Buffalo, New York. Also a very affordable city. Louisville, Kentucky. Kansas City's on the list. Cincinnati and Cleveland as well. But either way, we're not going to go for those today. We're going to go for the least affordable cities.
All right.
Here at home in the United States. And then we've got a list of the 10 top selling NFL jerseys from last year. And it's an interesting group. Actually, it's not. It's 9 quarterbacks and 1 tight end.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know one guy whose jersey will not sell. Now, he's a rookie. And he played for Navy. And the Ravens just signed him. He'll probably be a special teams guy. But our deep hope is that this guy becomes like the Bobby Wagner of linebackers. Because we want to see, in spite of popularity, if he'll move one jersey. If any one person. You need to look this. He's played for Navy. He's a linebacker. The Ravens signed him today. You look his name up. You tell me. If you would buy his jersey.
I think if you buy an iconic jersey from a franchise player that takes you to a Super Bowl and wins it, that's one you keep a hold of. Forever. Russell Wilson jersey, you keep a hold of that. Bobby Wagner jersey. I think the biggest risk in buying an NFL jersey is buying a wide receiver. Any team, because you just don't know.
Around a lot.
You don't know when they're going to lose it. Yeah. And when they lose it, man, you lost your jersey. Even if you just thought it was very cool that, I don't know, Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe you're a Rams fan. Okay, he's on the team for what? Maybe 1 year?
He might.
That wasn't even a whole year, though.
It wasn't, yeah. So you buy his jersey. Now he's still not even sure if he's going to go back to that team. He played on Cleveland for 2 years?
2 or 3.
You just look
Giants before that.
He wants to go back.
He wants to go back to Cleveland? Oh, that's right. Now the Baker's gone.
See, I'm not sure that you just don't buy
Baker's still there.
Yeah. Like, I'm just not sure in the world of sports jerseys, if you just don't buy your all-time favorite player. So if you're a Mariners fan, you can't go wrong with Ichiro. You can't go wrong with, I don't know, hell, even if it's Jay Buhner, whatever the deal.
Yeah. Edgar.
Edgar's a great call.
Boom.
Sure. But I think it's better to go back. And look, Randy Johnson went to Arizona, but you could still have a Randy Johnson jersey. Sure. It would still be cool to own. I think it's really risky to buy an NFL jersey these days. Not risky.
No, wide receiver. It's not worth your money.
No. And running backs aren't either. Because they're a dime a dozen. It used to be like that was your franchise. Maybe if you're in Dallas, you buy an Elliott jersey. Maybe. That's it. Maybe if you're in Indy.
Saquon Barkley, maybe?
Maybe a Barkley jersey. There's a handful of guys.
Yeah.
Until his contract comes up and he's like, get me off the Giants.
Derrick Henry. Somebody like that.
But Derrick Henry, you're probably safe.
But still, it's just one play away from, you know what I mean? So the top 10 selling NFL jerseys coming up with your guesses as good as mine. Also today, we'll head on over to the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour, exclusively on the Odyssey app, as we do every Monday through Friday at 6. You get more Men's Room, you get a little bit more salty language. We'll do some props from the weekend coming up on the Men's Room Happy Hour today. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. Then search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. That channel only goes live at 6 when we head over to the Odyssey app. What are we laughing about now?
Somebody took the time to research the Ravens signee, and basically the guy just says, I want the Seahawks to trade for this guy so I can rock that jersey. I hope they do, man. I'd love to see you out rocking that.
By the way, man, that's
you think he points at his name if he has a big push?
He's got to.
That's a big deal for them to be able to sign that guy. I'm almost 100% positive David Robinson might have been the best athlete to ever come out of the Naval Academy, period, right?
Roger Staubach.
Yeah, well, there's another one. There's two.
Granted, that's 50 years ago, absolutely. But still.
They both had to go into the military. They both had to do their service after they were done when they graduated. They both.
I don't think David Robinson did.
Did he get a pass?
He might have gotten so tall that he didn't actually have to go serve.
Okay, that's a good. Like we have nothing for you.
For the most part, that's a special. You really need to know somebody.
Oh yeah,
where they sign off and go. Okay, you know what? You can defer your military service to when you're done playing professionally.
Correct.
I think they do that for me.
Because that's what you want. The guy who's 45 years old, been beating the hell on a professional sports field. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy for Army a few years ago that tried, but he just wasn't good enough to make the league.
I remember who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
That sucks. Because if you don't make it,
right,
then off you go to wherever. You know, now you're living on a base in Alabama someplace.
Yeah.
Not to get the rumor mill going, but somebody here says, hey, did you see Baker Mayfield was in Snohomish over the weekend? Seahawks visit, maybe?
Baker Mayfield was in Snohomish?
That's good.
Are you sure you saw Baker Mayfield? I mean, there's a lot of dudes that look like Baker Mayfield, right? Got the beard, got the mustache. You sure about that?
Was he complaining a lot? If he was, it was him.
Kind of think he's still on the Carolina radar. Either way. And today is the day that we do our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Todd. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Todd, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. Todd, what restaurant or menu item do you wish was still around?
You know what I miss is the McDonald's Arch Deluxe. They had that bacon, the peppery bacon, the artisan bun. Yeah.
I remember the name. I don't think I ever had one.
It was a big deal when they had that.
I like the fact that you remembered it was an artisan bun.
I know. Artisan.
Yeah, buddy.
What does that mean?
It means the marketing worked.
But what is an artisan bun? What separates that? Was it like brioche?
It just wasn't their standard, like...
I'm not sure they had brioche then.
Hamburger bun, right? Miles, I don't know if it was brioche, but I remember it being like super delicious, and it was like, I've never seen a bun this fancy.
I'm pretty sure brioche is a new thing.
But people brag that it's brioche when it's on. I feel like sourdough and brioche, people are quick to point out this is on sourdough or brioche, right?
I think Taco Bell made a right move by bringing back the Mexican pizza.
Obviously.
I had one of those for the first time, and I thought that was fantastic. I couldn't believe they took it off the menu.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed wild that they ever did.
Yeah.
You think maybe it's one of those things of, look, let's take it off for a while. We know we're going to get backlash, but when we reintroduce this thing's going to sell.
I don't know.
You know, because it's not like they're bringing in foreign. Like McDonald's a lot of times will discontinue a menu item, but the only ingredients that go in that menu item is for that menu.
Sure.
Item. So I understand. But Taco Bell, it's like, man, it's the stuff you already have.
McDonald's, that brief period of time when they did chicken wings, those chicken wings were really good.
How long did they...
The Mighty Wings?
Yeah, I thought they were fantastic. They were. It just seemed like they were here for a week. And then there was like a chicken wings shortage, or maybe it was cost prohibitive. I don't know what the deal was, but they just kind of bailed on them.
Yeah, and to me, when I think about McDonald's, I just think about chicken nuggets. As opposed to wings.
And growing up,
agreed.
This sounds so strange, but the McPizza was such a big deal in our area. And it was a little personal pan pizza.
Was it good?
I've heard you talk about it, but and I know it's McDonald's, but was it good? Is it relative to McDonald's, or are you like, it's fine?
Okay. It kind of looked like, have you seen the Red Baron box that has the 2 individual little deep dish pizzas in it? Yeah. It was kind of like that. It was about that size. It had diced up pepperoni. It was, I don't know. I thought it was fantastic. It was cool also to order a pizza and they just give it to you.
Yes.
So it was like, like a little Caesar's take and bake or ready bake or whatever. Good stuff, though. The reason we asked what restaurant or menu
hot
item
and ready.
was
Little
still around.
Caesars is hot and ready.
Yeah,
take and bake is Papa.
Hot and ready.
Get it right, Miles.
That's right. There's the one where you got to take it home and make it. Russians already lost their Big Macs. Now Starbucks is going as well. The coffee chain said today it's following the lead of McDonald's and other businesses from the Western Hemisphere. And they will exit Russia after 15 years to protest the invasion of Ukraine. They have 130 shops. They pay approximately 2,000 employees' wages, and they're going to do so for another 6 months. So they're stepping up on that. Starbucks had temporarily suspended Russian operations in March, but today the company said in a statement it has made the decision to exit and no longer have a brand presence in the Russian market. Now, as you know, there was one buyer who bought all the McDonald's franchises.
Correct. I want to say they were already owning and operating a few of them in Russia already.
Now, is this going to be the equivalent of a McDonald's? Is this going to be like McDowell's in Coming to America?
Guaranteed.
In other words, are they going to be... Is the sign still going to be identifiable that it's a McDonald's?
Yes.
Like they just turned it upside down and now it starts with a W?
Well, and you can tell. I mean, it's like places that used to be Pizza Huts or... what was the chicken place? Kennedy Fried Chicken in Baltimore?
Oh, God, yeah.
It was just an old KFC.
And you knew it.
They just changed it to Kennedy Fried Chicken.
Is that really what they did?
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Like to save money, they'd keep the K. I mean, seriously, they did that everywhere, though. It was like have you been to Darby's? Is that where the old Arby's used to be? Sure enough. And
I'm wondering, is Starbucks the same thing? They've got 130 shops. Will just one company go in? And because I believe all the Starbucks were owned by a Middle Eastern company.
All right.
So the ones that are in Russia.
Yeah.
So will they just basically kind of almost do the same menu?
You know they will.
Still sell coffee. They've still got all the machines in there. I don't know what I don't know when you sell a franchise, does all the machinery and all those exclusive things that
I would think you just buy it as is, right? Because they understand this one company's leaving all at one time. So, look, if you and I decide we want to open a business, like, let's serve coffee. Mm-hmm. Why? Because all that coffee stuff is still
isn't that all part of their machines and all that stuff? Isn't that all part of their... It's not just an espresso machine. It's Starbucks' espresso.
I don't think it is. I think they probably put their name on it, but
in some way.
It's like glasses, right? Like Ted explained to us years ago, right? There's like one company that makes every eyeglass you're ever going to own.
Yep.
And then depending if you want to spend $800, put a Gucci logo on it, right? If you just want to buy the cheap one, don't. If you want to go middle of the road, put Ray-Ban. But it's all exactly the same thing.
Don't you think that this is the most inconvenient thing that you could do to people, though?
Sure.
I realize there's a serious war going on. But
correct.
People who love Starbucks.
Well, McDonald's and Starbucks.
People who don't normally would not have too much of an opinion or don't pay attention to the news or anything like that. They love their Starbucks. They love their McDonald's. Now their McDonald's and their Starbucks being taken away. I bet people are losing it.
I guarantee it. Because people freak out about like things that are insignificant, right? Like, so if you lost your cable, you can still watch TV, but I don't know, you have Xfinity, and for whatever reason, Xfinity said, we're going to stop doing it. People would lose their absolute mind. It's not the end of the world, but right. We like
as much as I go down to Tacoma to play golf, God, I'd do anything to have that Hooters open again.
Right, exactly.
I was watching golf on television, and John Daly, after he shot a really good round, I think it was either Thursday or Friday.
It was Thursday.
He went to Hooters, and they were showing pictures of him in Hooters, and I'm on social media, so I'm looking, I'm like, you son of a... look at those wings. So it's like, oh, man.
Is there a Hooters in Portland?
No, they closed it. I tried to stop there last time I went through. It's right on I-5, and they closed that. There's not a Hooters. I don't know where our closest Hooters is. Nope. Our closest Hooters might be like Vegas.
Let me see. Somebody here, by the way, says, as a former Taco Bell manager, yes, they take menu items off and reintroduce them years later. So it is a strategic thing.
All right.
Regarding foods that people would like to have again, the chicken strip McWrap from McDonald's was amazing. Anyone have that?
I don't really remember that one that much.
Well, they had to have chicken strips at the time. They don't do that anymore, do they?
No, I will say that, good call, Miles. I'm not sure if they do.
I don't think so.
I would bring back the Burger King. They have that chicken sandwich that's a little bit longer. But
I remember the one, yeah.
They had one that was like Italian, and it had marinara.
Yes,
mozzarella.
like 3 different kind of. They had 3 of them.
I love that thing.
Mm-hmm. What about the? I remember this one as
Swiss. They had a bacon.
They did have a Swiss one too.
Huge from my childhood. The old McDonald's apple pie with the bubbly crust on the outside.
They don't have that anymore.
No, because they went baked. Remember, it used to be deep fried, man.
Yes. And they used to have 2 different kinds. They used to have cherry and apple,
and then bring back the Reese's McFlurry. I never had one, but it's in the name. Obviously.
I was going to say, it's a McFlurry and it's Reese's. You can't really miss.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. So basically, what I'm saying here, McDonald's seems to be the real deal with people as far as items that are no longer there.
Well, burger-wise, I would take the Michael Jordan burger in a heartbeat. The Michael Jordan burger.
What was on there?
It was it might not even have been a quarter-pound burger. It might have been a double cheeseburger with bacon and barbecue sauce.
And that was it?
I'm pretty sure. I'll take a look at the picture of it. But look, man, it was a bacon cheeseburger at McDonald's with barbecue sauce.
Does anyone remember Fishy McBites?
Fishy McBites?
Are you making that up? That sounds like
fish bites?
I'm guessing, but yeah, Fishy McBites. The KFC Double Down, was that the one where the bun was actual chicken?
The McJordan looks like it is a quarter-pounder.
Okay.
The Double Down, right? Yeah, that was the one that didn't have a bun.
Okay, all right. So I do remember that. Nearest Hooters is in California. We had to look it up last time we drove by the old location in Tacoma.
Yep.
Damn, what part of California?
The closest one I found is in Rohart Park.
Okay, so we'll never be there.
ROHNERT. I don't even know where that is.
You gotta drive a long way. There's an In-N-Out Burger now, like north of Salem on I-5.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing you would stop at. Then you just keep on blowing down the highway, man, till you find a Hooters. That's a long way to go. And the thing about Hooters is always better in a bigger city. Not always, but typically it's the hiring is wonderful.
What about the original Chicken Little at KFC?
What is that, like the slider?
That was like a slider.
All right, the chicken parmesan from Red Robin. I never had that. Chicken parmesan.
Well, you're a parm guy.
I am a parm guy. I don't mind parm, but as many times I've been to Red Robin, I've never tried the parm.
Well, now you won't.
Now I never will. I'm going to go in and ask for that now. Tell them I really miss it. They'll probably be like, dude, we listen to your show. We know you've never had it. Shut up. You get your whiskey bourbon burger.
I was going to say, chicken parm is pretty hard to mess up.
It is. Let's see. Someone here says they have that long chicken sandwich back at Burger King again.
I used to make the long chicken sandwich. Well, I put it in the oven.
From your 2 weeks.
Do they have the Italian one or just the regular?
It was just the regular
chicken?
lettuce with shredded lettuce and mayonnaise, I think is what it was, on a toasted bun.
That long chicken.
You have to cut it with a diagonal cut. I remember that. It was part of the video.
You're right, man. I remember, as a kid, it was
paper, right?
It seems so fancy.
Yes, it sounds fancy.
Well, the whaler was a pretty big fish sandwich as well.
That was a big sandwich.
It was made out of real whale.
Now they just call it the BK Big Fish.
Yeah.
More of the
that's how big it is.
More of the random question coming up. 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Bilford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola.
Danny, welcome to the program. And a random question. Okay. Let's see here. Danny, what do we got for you? All right, Danny, let's go with this one. What would you say is the oldest thing that you own? What is the oldest thing you own?
I have a go-go walking puppy that I've had since I was like 5.
A go-go walking puppy. What is this, like a robotic toy dog or something?
Yeah, and it was like the first ones that they came out with way back in the day, and I've had it my whole life. I don't know why I just never got rid of it.
Okay. You haven't put it down yet? What's the name of it? Go-go what?
Go-go walking puppy.
Walking.
And how old are you, Danny, if you don't mind me asking?
35.
So you've had it, what, would you say 30 years? A little bit?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I remember this thing, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool.
Does it still work?
It does work, but the back of it fell off, so I have like batteries taped up inside of it, but it still works.
All up inside. Okay, so you never got anything, how about anything handed down from your parents or your grandparents? Do you have anything?
Oh, yeah, I have tons of stuff like that, really old, I guess. Oh, gosh. I have tons of stuff. My grandma just passed away, actually, so I just went through tons of things and found all kinds of old, like, Seahawks tickets from, like, decades and decades back. And
that's pretty cool. What's the weirdest thing you found in Grandma's possessions?
Gosh. There was some teeth in a little, like, box. And I assume it might have been, like, somebody's, like, maybe one of her kids, like my mom's siblings.
Maybe.
There was, like, little teeth in a little box.
She could also be a serial killer.
I want to say the Seahawks came in the league in
76.
76. So I've got I've got some bicentennial coins.
All right.
With the whole minted set of bicentennial stuff. Like, that was a big deal when we were kids. The although I'm not sure.
Big deal.
I understood it. I mean, I got it. But at the same time, when you're a kid, you don't like going to the moon was cool. I got that.
Sure.
But as far as the bicentennial, I was like, all right, it's a birthday. You know, it didn't seem to register to me that would be the only birthday like that I would ever celebrate here in the United States, because I'm not going to be alive for the next one. I didn't piece it all together.
We went to the, I think I was 7 years old, and we went to the bicentennial fireworks show in our nation's capital, which sounds awesome. And it was a hell of a fireworks show. But it's also a bad idea because we were in a traffic, and keep in mind where my aunt and uncle lived, Manassas, Virginia, that's 30 miles south of D.C.? Maybe?
Maybe?
Either way.
It's hard to tell. There's always so much traffic. I don't know how far it is.
It's probably closer to D.C. than Tacoma is to Seattle. All right? But to get home, it took 9 hours.
Oh.
It was the biggest traffic jam in U.S. history. It was.
And you were in it.
I was in it. No one anticipated it. And it's one of those things. Again, I'm like 7 years old. My cousin, I was the second youngest. My cousin was maybe 5 at the time. I remember we're getting grumpy in the back of the car. I got a look from both my mother and my uncle that told me maybe
this
to
wasn't
keep
a good idea.
But I woke up the following morning at about 4:30 in the morning. They were carrying me into the house. And they just looked pissed off. I did not realize they'd been in traffic for 9 hours.
It's amazing it didn't run out of gas. I have a coin from like a silver dollar piece from 1882, maybe somewhere in there. It's a flying lady, but it's all worn out, but it's actual silver, which is...
Right.
Trying to think what else I got. The radio that I use at home is from 1923. That's what I actually listen to the radio on.
All right. That thing's actually pretty cool, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just big, badass
got tubes in it, warms up, and if I leave it on, man, it's hot. So, like, I'm always like, I got to remember to turn it off. Like, I can't get stoned and pass out on the couch.
Now, if you got tubes, man, you want to shut it off.
Just because I'm not, you're going to wake up to a fire.
Anyone remember Hoppy Horse?
Hoppy Horse.
Do you remember that?
No.
Do you mean Hobby Horse? Someone says, anyway, I got a Hoppy Horse from 1977.
Is that the one where
kids on it?
Well, no, I think you bounce on it and it kind of like springs the legs out and that's how it moves.
Hold on, let me see.
You know what I mean?
I got to Google this.
Like it sprawls as it...
Yeah. You recognize this thing, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I believe so.
It's like the plastic horse on the spring frame.
Yeah. So it's just one of your bounce.
Yeah. I never got it. Man, I always wanted one of those when I was a kid. It's Hobby Horse.
Look, I just didn't get the whole idea of riding the horse. Like, riding the horse was like... You go to the grocery store, there's a horse out front.
That is correct.
I would rather be in the car.
Oh, I wanted to be on the horse, man.
I want to be in the race car.
Well, if they had a race, I would take rocket first, then race car, then horse. But it seemed to me
horse was always last.
It was always, but I broke one of those.
I love those. Yeah,
I was an adult, and I was a 3-year-old kid. I'm in my young 20s, all right? So we're waiting on his mom, who's in the mall. It's got one of those horses, but it's not coin operated. It's just you sit on it, rock back and forth. So the little kid's doing this thing. He's like, you get on. I'm like, all right, man. So I rock back and forth, and like any 20-year-old, I'm not really aware of the fact that I weigh considerably more than a child is designed for. So this is outside of Marley Station Mall, in fact, and the horse broke off the goddamn spring. So this little kid's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and as any adult with a child, you get them to do the right thing. And I said, run! And we took off. Met his mom.
Have you ever been on a multi-animal carousel?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
With all the different animals?
Yeah.
Sure.
Who picks the horse? Nobody.
My
you
weird
get on
sisters.
you get on a cheetah, you get on a lion.
Because it's more, but it's unfair for the horse. If you're going to give me a cheetah or a lion, right? Of course I'm taking
zebra, even a zebra,
ostrich.
Did you grow up with horses?
Well, they were around everywhere. I mean, everybody had. Well, a lot of people had them. So I think,
all right. I always thought the horse was awesome.
All right, but wait.
I'm just
we
saying.
opened this in Kenya. All right, we are outside of a game reserve where there's lions in there. There's going to be elephants in there. Do you think kids are more apt to want to ride the horse?
I think they're going to be more apt to ride things that they don't know. So if horses aren't domesticated in that area,
they're going to pick a horse.
If there's a grizzly bear, they're going to ride the grizzly bear.
I'd ride a grizzly bear.
If there's a polar bear, they're going to ride the things that they don't know. That's things that you can't see.
Do they have carousels that have aquatic animals?
Like, could you ride the
shark or something? Right.
I'm not sure.
I'd ride that. I'd do it now. I'm just thinking of all the carousels.
Well, you could have unicorns. That really ups the horse a lot.
Yeah, I've seen that, but that's so fake. I'm like, that's not even
You ever
real.
seen anybody get on the bench? You're like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh, just like on the carousel, just like ride around.
Just on the bench.
I mean, just
you get on the horse that doesn't go up and down. Like, what are you doing?
My daughter would always pick the horse when she was like 4 years old, and slow carousels are right, but she'd always pick the horse because in her mind she's seen this happen on TV, and every time that thing came around, going 4 miles an hour, we got the yeehaw scream. I mean, she's pumping her fists and like,
nice.
Yeah, it's also like, babe, you're not. It's like screaming yeehaw on a horse that's walking. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you're galloping, but it's like you're going at walking speed.
Yeehaw! Raise we asked, what is the oldest thing
like
that
I did for her?
Dude, she has nothing but enthusiasm at any kind of amusement park, but I'm like, not everything could possibly be. This is the girl, we took her Wings Over Washington. Are you familiar with this?
Oh, yeah, it's like Soarin'.
Is it like Soarin'?
Yeah, it is.
That's
It's
the same
pretty
ride,
cool,
yeah.
and it's down at the waterfront, right? And if you got kids or people from out of town, it's a worthwhile thing. It lasts 15, 20 minutes. It ain't going to kill you, right? But we go in there, and so the idea is we're looking at a screen, and, from the drone's viewpoint, it is flown all over the different parts of Washington State. So you go through waterfalls, you go over desert, whatever. As this thing is going, this girl screamed at the top of her lungs, just unbridled enthusiasm. This whole time. And it's not like you're doing
Which part of the state did you like the most?
We went over a waterfall and kind of through one, and then an eagle going the other way kind of flies over your head. And this isn't like 3D or anything, man, but she screamed through the whole ride. So when this ride ends, it's kind of like a little movie theater. So when the when the event ends, the lights pop back on overhead. I'm talking 100% of the people there are looking at her to see who this girl was that was so excited. Yeah, I mean, because she got everyone fired up, man. I mean, she has no idea. She is just screaming and yelling.
She's in the moment.
Her brother, she's always in the moment, dude. So this thing ended. Everyone stared at us, and I'm like, yeah, it's just how she is.
And she didn't even notice that a bit.
No idea. No freaking idea.
Exactly.
She doesn't care.
No awareness.
Everything, whoa, whoa. But keep in mind, there's a narration over top of it, too, kind of explaining that all of that got drowned out. You weren't hearing anything except her.
I haven't been over the Wings Over Washington, but I've been on Soarin' a couple times. It is awesome.
I've heard Soarin' is great. I have not done
Well,
it.
you don't have to smell Eastern Washington, do you? Or you don't have to
No,
smell
when you go over to Tacoma.
Longview or anything like that. Oh, Jesus.
It is nice, right? Because the original one was just California. When you go over the citrus stuff, it would smell like oranges.
And it smelled like elephant dung when you're flying over parts of Africa. You probably didn't. They change that all the time, don't they?
I'm not sure.
What, change the smells or where they go?
They changed the whole experience as far as where you're flying.
Where would you want to go? They said, look, you're not actually going to go there, but we're going to do a Soarin' over.
I think places like probably Kauai would be cool, just based on the West
maybe
Coast.
Iceland.
You think?
Everest.
Well, just because there's so many volcanoes and this and that.
But they have to be erupting. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of snowy mountains.
I think they do have an erupting mountain.
Iceland is terrifying.
Okay.
What, as far as so many white people?
No, I'm just saying. Well, there's a lot of white people. I'm pretty sure there's just active volcanoes that are kind of like Hawaii. Like some of them are just kind of always active.
It's always rumbling. All right.
Reason we asked, what is the oldest thing you own? 2 teenage girls were at a train station in northern Japan around 1:30 in the afternoon when one of them saw what she thought was a guy walking around with a big knife in his hand. So she called the cops and reported him. She said it was either a knife or a big-ass handsaw. It was actually neither of those things. It was something much more harmless. Turned out the guy was holding up an old flip phone. And she's so young, she'd apparently never seen one before. Her friend, who was a little bit more worldly, told the cops it might have been a phone, but they decided to track the guy down anyway just in case. So they looked through the security footage. They figured out who the guy was. They searched his bag, and sure enough, he had a flip phone, but no knife. So they let him go. No word on whether it convinced him to finally upgrade to another phone. But, dude, people love flip phones. They're in. There's no shame in that game.
Yes, there is.
I think that a lot of people might do it more.
Well, I mean, who do you know that has a flip phone?
More ironically than not. Okay, my father-in-law has a flip phone.
How old is he?
How old is he?
70.
Yeah.
Right, that's not in. He just never got out.
Right.
Well, like,
at 70, you are not.
His texts are always like 2 words.
Yeah, because
he's got to go through A, B, C.
Right,
ABC, right? Everyone's got to press like how many times to get to the letter. So whenever you
that's what I'm saying. Why would anybody want a flip phone?
I don't know. I think it still works. The battery still charges at the same capacity. He's never lost the phone because he's that guy. He just, there's no reason for him to buy a new phone. All he does is make phone calls and basically respond to 2-word texts.
No, you're right. He doesn't.
So does he still get the newspaper delivered?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right, he does. He does not need tech.
He's from Baltimore, man. He's just fine.
I'm just like, man. I feel like most of the news I read, probably half and half, right? Is when I get up in the morning. Like I don't really use my computer too much at home, but I'll just hop on my phone and start looking up stuff.
It always blows my mind when I walk into work, physically into this building, downstairs in the lobby at the security desk. You realize they have the newspaper every day. I'm always like, the Seattle Times just print like 1 copy for you guys to have because I wouldn't even know where to go to buy, other than Sunday. I would not know where to go to buy a newspaper if I wanted one.
I don't know either. I'll tell you this. I'm supposed to go to, the Orioles are coming in. For some reason, the Orioles always come into town. They play like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games.
Because it's the Orioles and the Mariners. They're not, like, come on. They're not giving us Friday and Saturday night.
But whenever they come to the West Coast, for some reason, they always end up going south at the end of the week. But they always, at the beginning of the week, the Orioles always play the Mariners up here. So it's always Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday game. So I think I'm supposed to go with them on a Tuesday night. He's going to both nights. Ted, you will know right away. What is the first thing Sam does when he walks into any stadium? The first thing before we go get a beer.
Go get a program?
He gets a program.
Oh, wow.
He gets a program.
You got to get a program.
He gets a program. No, we got to find the guy with the program.
Yep.
We can't go get, I can't get in line. I can't use the bathroom. I can't do anything. We can't go to the seats. Not until Sam gets a goddamn program. It's every time.
What's the program?
The program for the day's game.
Like the brochure, like when you walk in.
Hey, what?
Yeah, you didn't know those programs?
No, what is this?
I used to sell programs at football games.
How did
you, of all people, don't know what a program is?
It'll tell you like who the starting pitcher is. And it's like a little booklet.
Program. You mean like they do at the very beginning of the game?
Programs, yeah, like hot dogs, Cracker Jacks.
I thought that's what the guy, that's what
Apple
Tom
pie,
Huffman does over on the PA, man.
What's that?
Just announce who the starting pitcher is, the starting lineup.
Well, you're always talking about you want to keep score at a game.
If you want to keep score, you got to keep.
That's where it is?
Yes, it's a program.
Oh, wow.
You seriously have not seen the program?
No.
Ever in your life.
Like,
Football,
you see, like
baseball. Look, last time I bought a program, it was because we were at the Super Bowl.
Yes, I did buy that.
But I bought a program that day.
Wait, I have to, okay.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they'll, here's the difference. At the Super Bowl, they're like, oh, yeah, we got programs. You just have to buy it because it's the Super Bowl. It's a memento. Probably for your average Mariners game, do they even charge or is it?
No, it's $5.
I was going to say, they still sell them.
Right.
I mean, I never buy one.
It's the first thing you see when you walk into the stadium. You see like 10 people with programs.
Yeah.
I got to get one then.
I can't believe you never got a program at a sporting.
No, I go for the game. I go and grab a beer and sit down.
But this program is 100% game.
My father-in-law, he's got to get a program.
Right. If I go to an event with my dad, it's the same way. We got to get a program and we got to see first pitch.
Huh?
All right.
Oh yeah. It's this weird thing. It's the same dude who's got the radio on his head.
Right. He's the guy.
He's listening to the call of the game, which is on a delay from a radio station. Doesn't even match up. It doesn't matter. He's still listening to the damn game.
I got to get in on this.
Yeah.
I need to get you a program, dude. It's going to change your life.
It'll be awesome.
My Uncle Tim still does it at Maryland football games.
What, brings the radio?
He has one of those old school
Transistor,
like, headset radios.
But he gets a program, doesn't he?
He gets a program, and then he'll sit there with us and listen to the radio call as opposed to just watching the game.
Is he balding?
Yes.
Not completely bald. It just seems like universally
He's got a
speaking.
Caesar ring.
Right. Because it doesn't matter what baseball stadium I have been to in this country, the dude with the headphones
never has hair.
Has a Caesar ring, and for whatever reason, it could be the middle of the
Also,
summer, right? 98 degrees outside.
Satin jacket.
He's wearing a jacket.
Satin jacket.
What the hell?
Champion. Starter satin jacket.
Every game you go to, that guy looks exactly, and it doesn't matter what city you're in, they all look precisely the same.
I mean, we're a strange-looking group when we go into these Maryland games. Like, my dad doesn't go anymore, but he would always wear bike shorts, like the old coaching shorts, as if, like are you coaching?
Right.
He's got to get in game mode.
Then you'd have my uncle with that radio on and stuff. I'm just like, it's an interesting group.
And also, why do the headphones for baseball radio call
antenna in them?
Have to be so big? You know what I mean? We got earbuds, we got earphones. You can buy smaller.
Because it's got a transistor in it with a little antenna that you pull up. And it's got to have room for batteries. So it's self-containing, man. It's got everything in it.
It's a world of technology on their head.
He loves those things.
More of the random question coming up. 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.